Stephen Wagstaff. Welcome to Motivation 101.
Your weekly reminder that greatness is built one choice, one action, and one moment of courage at a time. Another week, another great episode for sure. Partner, how are you?
Well, doing well. Any better? There'd be two of me. Thanks for asking, my friend.
Yes. Welcome back, Mr. Steve. And today, let's talk about motivation myth. Why
Yeah,
waiting to feel ready keeps you stuck.
yes, I can relate.
Yes,
Procrastination. Yeah.
definitely. Yes.
Mhm.
I do procrastinate. I do procrastinate sometimes because I have a lot of podcasts doing it. I have a story about that, Mr. Steve. When we are doing our Bible versus 101,
Uh-huh.
Miss Karen and I doing love letters at that time. And Miss Karen told me, would you like to do one more podcast, Daniel? So, yes, why not? Wait, which one? Let's do Bible versus 101. Okay, I said, yes, let's do it next month. And then suddenly I said, oh, Miss Karen, can we do next time? Can we do it another time? I said, okay. And
Yeah.
then I said, and after 1 month, I said again, Miss Karen, can we do it
Next
after
month.
2 months? Mr. Karen said, okay. And then the 2 months, 3 months, it becomes 1 year and a half. So
A year and a
that's
half.
a year and a half doing Bible verses 101. Imagine
Wow.
procrastination.
You know what they say? Procrastination, or the other people always say, you kind of get stuck in a rut, right? People say that.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
I heard an old farmer say, a rut, being stuck in a rut is just like being in a grave with the ends kicked out. And he's right.
Mm.
Being stuck in a rut is like being in a grave. You're just not going anywhere, accomplishing anything for yourself or for other people. And we were made for productivity. We were made for purpose. Um,
Mm. Certainly. So, Mr. Steve, why does readiness rarely arrive before action? What's missing there?
Readiness. I think
Yes.
we're all prone in this fallen body of ours, um, that work is, to many people. I mean, work is something that requires effort, and we always have, especially nowadays. There's always so many things competing for our time that, yeah, we. It's easy for us to take those things that maybe aren't the top on our list of getting done and prioritizing them to always moving them down the ladder. And they, like you said, it can be in a year and a half and you're still not using your Bible verses.
True. And people, I think readiness rarely arrives before action because readiness is not prerequisite state. It's emergent property of engagement. Most people assume readiness is psychological condition, confidence, clarity, motivation, and certainty. But in reality, those states are byproducts of forward motion. Mm.
Yes. Um, another, I forget who I heard this from, but life, uh, someone, I think it was a pastor told me this illustration, and it's true. He said, life is like picking your way up a a slippery, icy slope. The minute you stop moving, you slide backwards out of necessity. There's no such thing as remaining in one place. Really, you're sliding backwards because life keeps moving forward. And if we procrastinate or we don't do it, we're actually not just staying still, we're actually losing ground, we're moving backwards, because other deadlines, other things are always getting in the way. But, yeah,
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Steve, why does readiness rarely arrive before action? Why
why does it
is it?
arrive before?
Yes, before action. W-
Because if
Why is
not,
it?
yeah, I think if readiness doesn't arrive before action, then the quality of whatever we're doing, I think, will suffer. Like most things need preparation, either mental or physical. Um, but if readiness doesn't arrive first, then the product of what's left over is just effort, but not quality. Would you agree with that?
I think so. And one more thing is, how does perfectionism delay progress?
Mhm. Yeah, perfectionism is, I guess, any
Always.
strength taken too far is a weakness, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
perfectionism uh, is like a for me. I don't want to say I suffer from OCD, but I enjoy having things done really well. But sometimes that comes at the cost of micromanaging either yourself or other people because you want it done a certain way, or um, the the task that we are trying to accomplish. We spend way too much time on at the expense of all the other things that we could be working on or progressing with.
Mm-hmm. And I want to share my experience about that perfectionism. So when I'm doing all my first season to all my podcasts, because I created 4 podcasts in one time.
Yeah.
I do have my food 101 plus book 101 review, geography 101, and abstract essay.
Mhm.
First, I'm very worried for all the episodes that I'm producing that there is an error or whatever because of the perfectionism,
Uh,
and which is delayed my everything. I delayed my production and everything because I'm curious about perfectionism.
mm,
But sooner or later, for my second season, third season, fourth season, I don't care anymore because, well, you will learn from those mistakes. Don't be perfect in everything, people, because as they said, the more mistake you will do, the more something you will learn.
and
So
I think
right now,
go ahead. Yeah,
yeah.
complete
So
that
right
thought.
now, I don't care about the perfect episode that I'm publishing because whatever I will have a mistake, I will learn from it. Next time, I will be better for that episode or for the next episode that I will do.
Mm. And I think too, Daniel, that people uh, people I think respect and whatever authenticity, right? So if we're being our authentic self without this polished version of what life
We
really
are.
doesn't look
Yes.
like, I think people are much more relatable to whatever. If you make a mistake or if it's you do something a little off that's maybe not up to your expectation, I half the time I don't think people notice it's something we do. And then secondly,
Hmm.
I don't think people really care. They see you as relatable because no one's perfect. Um, but, I think that makes you much more human, don't you think?
Yes, definitely. In the world of AI, people, we need authenticity, and I think uh, those mistakes that we are making in each of the episodes, I think we are saying that we are human. We are not perfect, as Mr. Steve talking about. So, Mr. Steve, what is the cost of waiting?
Well, for me, the cost of waiting is that, well, I guess there's a couple. The cost of waiting, I think, doesn't, uh, if people are depending on you, the cost of waiting often comes at the expense of your reputation. being late or tardiness, not getting something done when people are expecting it. And then the
Mm-hmm.
other one, the cost to it is that it comes even more difficult to start because there's so many other things either vying for your time or I'm thinking like homework, things like that. Remember, like if you
Yes.
procrastinate or delay on it, it
Mm-hmm.
gets even harder after that to get motivated to do it, and everything just keeps piling up. So those are my two reasons. Is that number one, people expect things if you give your word at a certain time, but two, if you if you wait, it just becomes that much more heavier to start.
Mm, certainly. People, the cost of waiting is rarely visible up front, but it compounds.
Yeah.
Waiting feels not neutral, but it feels prudent, cautious, responsible. In reality, waiting is often an active decision with measurable opportunity costs across psychological, economical, relational, and identity domains. And one of my weakness, Mr. Steve, is to wait. I don't like waiting. I don't know why.
Yeah. No, it's not it's not anxious as in, like, worry, but it's, like, anxious as in, like, why aren't we doing anything? Like, why we've got it you know what it comes down to? It comes down to, I think, how much we value time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Time is such
Sure.
a precious commodity, and, I think delaying and that it kind of shows us the type of value we place on time because when you think about it, time is something that you never get
Precious.
back.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, time is some people say we always save time doing this. There's no such thing as saving time. Time runs at the same rate. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I think we need to value every
Time.
second
Yes.
that we live, right?
And I think, Mr. Steve, there's a pros and cons of waiting. Let's say waiting for the wine to be ripe,
Mm,
right? That's a good waiting because the more you wait, the more the wine better, the
right.
more taste good. And the way the well, that is the pros. How about the cons? You're wasting time
Mhm.
instead of executing what you want in life or do something good to make you better. Well, you waste the time because you procrastinate.
Yeah, I think a difference between, there's such a thing as waiting, there's a difference between waiting and procrastinating, I think. I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes waiting is a good quality, especially when it comes to, speech, like, sometimes holding our tongue and not saying something right away
True. Yeah.
is a very good quality of waiting, um
Mm-hmm.
but if we differentiate between waiting and procrastination, um, waiting can often be a real sign of wisdom, waiting to speak, waiting to let someone else in front of you in line. So there are some positive qualities in waiting, but it's different than procrastination.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. What is the confidence a result, not a prerequisite? What's the big role of confidence in every day in our life?
That's a good question.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, you've
For me,
stumped me on that one.
yes. I think for me, if you have a confidence in everything you do, 100%, you can execute of what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can do the right thing because I can do this because I have the knowledge, I have the wisdom, I have the expertise to share to the world,
Mm.
which is saying is not a prerequisite. I think it is prerequisite to
I
have
would
a confidence.
I agree. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. That makes much more sense.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Just like us, we are podcast hosts, and to tell you the truth, people, Mr. Steve and I, we have a lot of podcasts doing every week. And if we are not having confidence on each subject that we are creating, for sure we will be have this feeling that can I execute this in a proper way, in a proper time, in a proper episode. So
That's a really good
confidence.
example. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. That's a really, really good example, Daniel. Because if you don't have confidence, it that even makes it more difficult to engage in it. Not only are you just procrastinating on it, but if you don't have confidence in what you're doing, then you when you go to execute it, you don't even really know where to start. So I think confidence is key. And I think if you're waiting and in the waiting you are thinking about execution, I think sometimes that's okay. But um yeah, if you don't have confidence, um that you're just not gonna want to do it, period.
hmm definitely. So, why do small actions overcome resistance? Baby steps. Mm,
Momentum, right?
yes,
It's
yes,
like that snowball effect. It's like just a little bit at a time, and before you know it, it's like the same thing. The rule of multiplication, like 2 times 1, 2,
yes.
times 4. It gains momentum. So, like you just told me when we were off air, when it comes to seeing how your podcast grows or whatever, um, I can't expect to have 6-year results if I am only, you know, a half a year into it or a year into it. So, um, yeah,
Baby
upper
steps.
expectations.
Yes.
Yeah,
Baby steps. As they said, how will you eat the elephants in the
that's right.
room?
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. No,
just
definitely not
bite.
one.
Mhm. Because if you will not go to the process, is you will not be successful. There is a process in everything, people. To be successful, you must be consistency, hard work, and you have a dedication, motivation, discipline. We talked about before what is the difference of motivation and discipline.
Mhm.
If the motivation is gone but you have a discipline, you still continue doing it. For me, I'm doing lots of podcasts. Like right now, I have 22 podcasts. Doing all those in a single day, if you have a motivation, yes, motivation get you far away. How about if the motivation is gone? I need because I have a discipline that I need to do this because it's a part of my system. I need to do this because it's a part of my hobby. I need to do this because it's a part of my life. So there's a discipline.
Yeah, discipline is like the fuel that keeps you going, even when you know the the lack of wanting to even move forward, put the car in first gear. But you're right, discipline is an action, and motivation is a motivation is a feeling, right? It can come and go,
Mm-hmm.
whereas
Mm-hmm.
uh, discipline is a structure that's built in despite feeling. Um, so feelings will come and go, uh,
Mm-hmm.
but discipline, I think that's the that's the driving force by why we do anything when we're not motivated. Yeah, it's a good quality, a very good quality to have.
That's the foundation. Even our podcast called Motivation 101, people.
Mhm.
Well, motivation is a feeling, as they said, as Mr. Steve saying. But if you have the discipline, even motivation is gone, you're still successful because
That's right.
it's part of your foundation. So, Mr. Steve, what mental traps keep people stuck?
Oh,
Mm,
yeah. I think Well, y- the the devil loves people to be um, unmotivated. He loves us to be um, doubt, doubting ourselves. He wants us to um, always to just keep us uh, like you said, undisciplined. So um,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yes, I think so. Most of the people stuck, they don't have discipline, they don't have motivation, they don't have something in their life to make them leap,
yeah,
even in this.
you need a goal, right?
Mm,
Hard to have it's hard to have motivation if you don't have a goal that you're aiming at, because after all, what is motivation? Like motivation without having an ending point or a goal in mind is just like wasted energy at doing what? Like it would be very it would be repetitious, boring, and pointless. That's why I think keeping the end in mind. We often say that, right? Starting with the
mhm.
end in mind, uh, that definitely helps. Well, it doesn't help. It is the reason to be motivated to accomplish what we set out to.
Mm, certainly. So, Mr. Steve, how can listeners reframe failure productively? Productively, yes.
Well, like you said, I don't think failure is an accurate word. I think failure, we need to reframe it as just a learning tool. Like,
Sure.
I didn't fail. I learned something. I learned that such and such didn't work, or I learned that when I don't do it that way, it didn't work. Failure is education. Um, that's my goal. I mean, not my goal. That's my understanding of it. I think we need to frame it that way, or else, like we said, Satan will just, you're no good. You can't accomplish that. Put it off till tomorrow. You know what I mean? That that's 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 the end goal. That's the end process. If yeah, that's what I think anyway.
Certainly, people don't afraid to commit failure because failure you will learn from them.
Yeah,
It
education.
serve yeah, it serve as your guidance. It serve as your pattern. Next time I will do better. Next time I will not do that again because of this, because of that. And through those failure, you will produce something better. You will produce something good. You will produce your legacy or whatever what you're doing.
Mhm.
Just like for us, as a podcast host, we have a lot of failure, but
Mhm.
we learn from them.
Yeah,
I learned from those mistakes that I did, from the grammar, from publishing, from mistaking, do the label, doing what do you call this? My intro is different from the one I am
yeah.
introducing, which is I learned from those. I learned that to be better, learn to prepared in everything that I do.
It's the
So people,
greatest teacher. Failure
hmm,
is the greatest
make
educator.
yes, make failure as productively for you. It's
Yeah.
not something that against you. It will help you.
We gotta I
So
think, like we said,
yeah,
we have to reframe words that culture has made bad. Like discipline is not a negative thing. We always think discipline is it's a positive thing. And it's the same with the word failure. It's we need to reframe that word to actually mean learning, or I was educated by what I didn't do properly last time and now I know better.
mm, certainly. So one more, Mr. Steve, to wrap up our discussion. How can commitment replace motivation?
Well, commitment is your whole. what people think of you. Your whole reputation is based on commitment, right? So if I
Mm,
commit to being here next week at this date and this time, and I don't show up for that, it it that's my reputation at stake, and it's not just my reputation; um, it causes problems for other people that are depending on you. So it's definitely a ripple effect. It's not just you that it affects. Um, it can affect others. So I think yeah, is
mm.
commitment should be the ultimate motivator.
Certainly. If you commit something, you need to honor it. Even you had to have the motivation to do it. Let's
Yeah,
say I want to be the guest of Mr. Alex, to be podcast guest on that podcast. Is not my intention to do it. Even I don't have the motivation, but you committed to do it. You need to appear on that podcast because it's your commitment. You
yeah,
say yes.
yeah, yeah,
So I think commitment is like discipline, right,
yeah.
Mr. Steve?
It
If
is.
you have if you have a discipline, commitment, I think it goes together on in hand.
They're
Even the
almost the same word, right? Commitment and discipline. They're all tools, like positive tools. Um, reframing reframing that word discipline as something positive. We all need it in life, and reframing that uh, word of commitment. It commitment will pull us out of that rut of being stuck. 'Cause it doesn't even feel good to be stuck, does it? Like being
Mhm.
stuck just feels anti-productive and lonesome. So don't get stuck. Get yourself pulled out of the rut.
Yes, don't stuck people. If you have something to do, well, do it now and stop procrastinating and share to the world. Just like Mr. Steve and I, we're doing a lot of podcasts to empower people all over the world. So, Mr. Steve, would you like to plug in something?
Yes, we could plug in the Swagability Show and the work we're doing over at Swagability, helping people that are going through life altering circumstances, discipline, illness, trauma, and we're walking through them in their darkest points of life. And so if that's you, you can head on over to swagability.com and connect with us. We want to be a support system for those that the life's been flipped upside down on them. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, people support Mr. Steve because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering episode of the podcast, more and more empowering advocacy like this to rise.
Mm.
So, Mr. Steve, thank you so much for your time.
Yes, sir. Until next time.
Welcome, people. See you soon.